Oh, yeah. Louder. Faster. Here we go. Episode 177. What the heck? Yeah. What the hell? Come on in, folks. Happy Monday. Delish. Excellent. What's up, people? Happy winter. Happy 2025. My name's Cardone. You're on Evening Hour Live. This is it. We got people in here. Let's go. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Ah, Mr. Christopher. Mr. Spinell. You can't deny this man. I'm going to talk about him today, actually. He's part of the chat. Wow, I'm in a good mood. I had an excellent day. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, if it's looking crispy. I'm a little migrainey these days. I highly recommend if you get headaches from all the damn LED lights, and if you have eye problems like I do, I have a terrible light thing. It's getting worse. Anyway, these work. Ooh. It's hard for me to look at screens. What's up? We got a great group in here. We got Charlemagne. My mama's in the house. What's up, mama? Party on. Angela, Mr. Christopher. Bertram. Do I know you, Bertram? Come on in. Dan, what's up, brother? How's Philly? See you at the Super Bowl. Wow, PA's going to be going ape poo-poo. Who's in here? Charlemagne, Michael, Larry. We got a good group. Ryan, come on in. Grab a drink, sit down. I've got a killer show. I have, Fallon's in here too, I believe. I have a great show. I have a lot to say. I planned out a bunch of stuff. And, not that much. So I haven't done a show in a while. It's been almost a month and a half. And I've been busy. My December, let me get my notes. I don't want to forget anything. Happy New Year. My December was the busiest December I have had, business-wise, in almost 15 years. I'm not joking. Last year, not this winter, last winter, I had one of the slowest Decembers of my... I always base December as... because it's very consistent. October's pretty consistent. April, May, sort of consistent. So my year last year was spring, summer, really good. Fall, pretty good. And my December, wacko good. And so I had a great Christmas with my family. We do traditional Italian style American Christmas whatnots. You know. Hold on, let me scroll down here. There's so much going on here. Where are we here? Yeah, so I did the polar bear, which I haven't missed in I don't know how many years now. It's getting harder as I get older. It's a little painful to jump in the ocean. But at any rate, I had a very busy season, and my January starts off... Every year, I take New Year's very seriously. I try to get... because January is traditionally slow for me, and so is February. Sometimes it's not. It depends. This year, it was slow. I could see it was going to be, which is fine. I schedule all of my doctors, my dentists, anything I need to do. catch-up wise, I do it in January, February. I also took the advantage of, caving, I call it, where I go into my Gargamel cave. My book that I have been working on for I don't know how many years now, 10 years or more. My book, I'm doing hard edits now, big ones, because I want to publish it this year. I have to publish it this year. It has to. So it's right now it's as long as Nietzsche's shortest book. It's not a long book, but it's not about the length of the book. It's about what I'm putting in there, and I don't want to. I'm taking it very seriously. I want it to be good. I want it to be worth your time if you actually sit and read, which most people don't do anymore. So yeah, this is the Gargamel Cave. You are in it now. I'm drinking tonight, for those of you curious. Oh, it's live. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the notify. I do like tips. There's a whole tipping thing in here we'll get to. But sharing the show, a lot of you share it to get people to come. It all means something to me. Thank you very, very, very much. A book on spells. You could call it that, yes. Specifically, it's on the darker side of it all, which it's a book on curses. It's a book I wanted when I was a kid but couldn't find. And so I'm making it right now. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not friendly. It's not funny. It's mean and scary. And yeah, it is what it is. Something I've been working on, and I'm pretty good at writing that in that style. So I think people are going to get a lot out of it. And it is fun. It's not, it's dark, but it's a fun read. It's not for everybody. Wow. Opinions on the band Kettle Cadaver. I like the name. Canned mackerel, party on, love it. Yes. I do share them occasionally. Yeah, the book is actual curses that I've written, and then it's also the psychology behind it on a very detailed level. And so, Cardone Codex. Title-wise, I'm not sure yet. There's a few titles I'm throwing around. I'm going to keep it simple. I don't want it to be flowery. It might just have a simple book cover, nothing fancy. But at any rate, January has been on 11. Yes! Fallon. Fallon says, starting a book quota this year. My unread pile is growing. Well, on that note, I just finished Genealogy of Morals. Friedrich Nietzsche. Das ist gut. Das ist gut. This was one of the hard ones to read. Genealogy of Morals isn't as flowery in the language and poetry. It's written more as a philosophy textbook. It's kind of really hard-knuckling some of his concepts. Loved it. There's only a few Nietzsche books left, and then I've read all of his works, and then I will go back and read them again. Ecce Homo, which is his biography, I have not read yet. It's not in my reading pile, but it will be soon. The other book I've been reading, and this is kind of a hard to find book, it's by Lou Salome, and it's her book on Friedrich Nietzsche. And, a lot of people think that was his girlfriend. She wasn't. He really wanted to marry her, and she didn't want to. And then she ran off with his friend, and I don't even think she was his lover either. At any rate, this is a book about Nietzsche from her point of view, and it shares some of his letters. I highly recommend it. It's blowing my mind. I'm almost done with it. I don't know, not much to go. But I bring you to some books that, I'm going to sneeze. Mi perdonada. Hold on. Oh, here, hold on. Here's a book I just started that's blowing my mind. Right here. Henry Bergson, Laughter. An essay on the meaning of the comic. This is a detailed examination of why things are funny. And, here comes the sneeze. Hold on, let's try the magic trick. Did you know this? I only know this because of showbiz purposes. If you push right here, right there, hard, it can stop the sneeze. And I only know this because I've been in shows where I have to sneeze a lot. You know, I'm like sick, and I stop it by this. There it is. Done. Watch me sneeze really quick. Oh, there it goes again. I'm going to sneeze. I don't know why. I don't know why I have allergies right now. Are there ingredients to the curses? It's what exactly is the purpose of curses, if I may ask? I'm not going to get into that on this episode. That's a whole episode of the purpose of. I mean, the purpose is to destroy. It's a destruction spell. I'll give you a quick one. It's an imprecatory prayer. It's a prayer to destroy. That's what it is. And Paul's question, are there ingredients to the curses? The answer is no. Because the philosophy part of what's going on, you'll see it's up to you to design these curses. And I think you're going to like this. This is a version of magic on a level most people don't see in writing format. Most stage magicians don't believe in real magic, and most occult practitioners don't think stage magic is the same thing as real magic. And my concepts put them together and show you that they're both equally as real. I sneeze on cue when you scratch. Oh, interesting. If someone says sneeze, I can no longer sneeze. That's funny. Maybe I'll tell someone to tell me to sneeze. And then it's like, oh, now it's not working. So this book on laughter, the premise is, why do we laugh at things? What makes things funny? What's the core ingredient to humor? And it's not what I thought. It's insane. It's basically, and in a nutshell, I'll lay it out because I think it'll make you more curious. I'm not spoiling anything. Basically, the concept is, it's an acknowledgement of the mechanization of reality. Yeah. It's our subconscious laughing at someone having a mechanized, like things are happening and they're still moving and they can't keep up with the machine. And it's our egos laughing at that because we innately believe in free will and that person's not applying it. And so I've had thoughts on it that are beyond the book already, in a theological setting of us evolving, believing in God. If you watch this show, I talk about it quite a bit. So the book's blowing my mind. I never thought I would enjoy this. I highly recommend anybody who likes philosophy or humor or comedy and wants a little bit, if you're a comic, look at this. This is helping me crystallize some of my opinions on magic and wonder. And then I'm always reading the Conan stories. I'm not really a fiction fantasy person, but I really like this book. It's also it's not even from an editor. It's one of those cheapos from Amazon. Some of these stories are excellent. Right here, Skaboom! A book on phantasm, folks. Look how thick it is. I highly recommend it. I'm almost done with it. We're going to talk about horror movies tonight, especially that. For the weirdos that like ham radio, excellent. And for the game nerds out there, holy moly, DCC Batman. Dungeon Crawl Classics. Right here, baby. Enough of Dungeons and Dragons already. What a dumb game it became. Right here, this is a monster manual. Look how thick. For Dungeon Crawl Classics. It came out a few days ago. Party on! If you do role-playing games, Dungeon Crawl Classics, here's a new one. I'll show. Just let me open it and show you. There are greater demons. I mean, it's got all sorts of stuff. I'm just trying to find a good example. Yes, my friends, it's excellent. Highly recommend this. So I got a nice stack of books. That's my reading book stack right now when I wake up in the morning. I've been pouring through it. I've also been making On a game note, Sean Auberg, who watches the show, the mastermind behind Degenerates, the world's greatest board game, that game is so inspirational. And I know Fallon has a copy. Serena just got a copy. She watches this show. That game is so damn inspirational. As you know, where's my cameras here? Table. As you know, I make dice trays. And here's one right here. I'll show you. Bada bing, bada boom. This is one of my dice trays. These are Dungeon Degenerate dice. But I just made a dice tray for playing Dungeon Degenerates that has places to put monster cards. So, and tokens and figures, if you so desire, to put Dungeon Degenerate miniatures. Yeah, that's what this is, and you can use it to roll dice. You can use it for the cards. I just made this. I believe I'm going to be selling these on a new auction site that I'm going to talk about right now. Where are we before we get into... Has anybody heard of Whatnot? Have you ever heard of Whatnot? It's an eBay thing, but it's live. Well, I'm doing one tonight at 10 p.m. So if you want to watch me live auction a role-playing game, tonight it's my first one. I've never done it. I'm going to try. I have a brand new copy with a tote bag and accessories of Root, the role-playing game. Not Root the game, Root the role-playing game. Now, Root's an excellent board game, but this is the role-playing game. And I'm going to auction this off. I think this right here is worth a few $100s. I'm going to auction it with a really low starting bid. All right. What else here? Ooh, what's this? We talked about it in my high school psychology class. Hold on. Oh, I got to catch up here. January 24th, National Belly Laugh Day. I did not know that, Helen. Wow, I like it. Humans behaving like animals or animals behave... Actually, that's in the book. But it's more about the humanization of the animal, not the other way. Yes, it goes into detail on people's faces looking similar and how that reminds us of a clone. It's very... You got to see the book. It's so good. What's this? High school? What did you talk about in your psychology class? Are we talking about the curse there or not sure? I'm going quick and there's a delay. What else before I start jumping into the meat here tonight? Because I had a lot to say. McDonald's, new platform, Whatnot. Yeah, who's heard of Whatnot? Whatnot, that is. Yeah, look it up. Yeah. What's this say? Water? Book writings? No. No. Yes. Done. Page 1. Done. Remember Harvey? What's his name? Page 1. Paul Harvey. Paul Harvey. I used to love how he ended his shows. He would say good day, but it was how he said it. He would go, good day. He had this weird cadence. And I remember I was driving down the road. I don't know how many years it is. What's up, Jason? And I remember hearing, ladies and gentlemen, this is Paul Harvey's last broadcast. And I was driving and I forget, he told a story and he ended it with good day. And I got choked up. I mean, the man had been on the radio, I think, for 60 years, maybe more. Wow, Paul Harvey. I don't know how I started that. All right, let's look here for a second. Oh, yeah, and that's the rest of the story. Yep, that's it. I wanted to show you... Here we go. Privacy gambling, UFO dopes, And tragedy is comfort food. Oh, Melissa, you're not late. I'm literally starting right now the main jam. Go back and watch the beginning for. Listen, this is a live show. If you're new to the group, say hi. If I don't know you, come in and say hi. We're getting better numbers now on the live stream, so that means it's working a bit, and people are spreading it around. And thank you. I do take donations. If you do it, hallelujah. I'm a full-time performer, and so I sing for my meals. And if you can't, I get it. The economy's still messed up. Although I think it's going to upswing. It's going to slowly, creep up again. The stock market was pretty good for a while. So, yeah. So let's get into this. I wanted to start tonight on talking about tragedy. And how, as an art form, the Greek tragedy... here he goes. Thoughts on the Elon Musk and his salute. Well, I don't talk politics, but I will say that my heart really does go out to you. And I remember I used to, when I used to do my bass solo in Toilet Boys, I used to do something that looked like that, and I didn't realize it until I saw a video. And I was like, ugh. It's very easy to do that one. Very easy. And so you can see how a lot of people were able to make videos of everybody doing it, because it's so, you can even get cartoons doing it. It's such an easy thing to jump on. I didn't buy into that one. I think it's silly, and I don't like calling people the N word, the Nazi word. I don't like throwing that around. I don't ever use it unless it's for the real version, not the sort of real version or what I want it to be. I never use it. I think it's insulting to the people that they hurt to throw it around so I consider lightly compared to what other people have used it for. That's my opinion. To like him or hate him, to me, that's the wrong direction to start hitting buttons on. And as a tactic for gaining an edge on something or a concept, to me, that is the most uneducated and fickle, easy way to go about it. And I'm very, very, very sad a lot of people I know bought into it so wholeheartedly. I was quite amazed. So that's my thoughts. I don't like talking politics. I do like talking core values, which is, to me, a core value is calling people, Nazi, and I'm not saying the word as not to flag, but yeah, I don't throw that word around. And plus, a lot of people don't realize the details of what that means. People use the word dictator and this and that, that we use it in our language now so in a passive manner that the meanings, if you ask people what the details of the meanings are, they don't know. So that's me. Yeah. Low-hanging fruit. Yes, exactly. That's what I meant by, yeah, that's my personal. Yeah, exactly, Fallon. That's funny. Everybody look at the chat of Fallon's. Fallon's not making the joke, referring to another joke. Yes. Yeah, exactly. To me, that I don't go there. I just don't do it. I never would. I find it insulting. Byron. I don't even know who that is. So, tragedy. Why do we like tragedies? Aristotle wrote a lot about them. I learned about Greek tragedy in school, and I don't think I need to explain why people like tragic stories. Greek tragedy is like you're seeing a hero who has mostly good traits, a few flaws. Because of some decisions and fate, bad things happen, and we watch it unfold. And to me, it's not about liking tragedy and liking horror films. It's about liking watching people get over terrible situations. That's what we're watching. It's a terrible situation. That's what a horror film or a tragedy is. And we're watching a terrible situation. And through that, we should be examining ourselves through the character we're watching. And it makes us think, what would we do? Or how would we handle it emotionally or physically or problem solving wise? How do we handle it? And so I've always liked horror films. I've been fascinated by monsters and bad guys. I've always been fascinated by the bad guys in movies because I started at an early age understanding the concept of good and evil being man-made, and not more songs for opulence. Not in the so-called in the near future. I don't foresee that. Well, exactly. Well, so right. So it's not maybe, it is, and it is. Yes, Charlemagne brings up a good point. It's about being exposed to fear in a controlled situation, which is a form of stoicism. It's putting ourselves in a situation, sort of, so that we can feel a little bit of what that's like. And I think we do have a curiosity to that. And through that, not through comedy, but through tragedy, I think Aristotle coined the phrase catharsis. I don't know if he's the one that originally coined that phrase. So, yes, well, it's our admission to the truth of life, I would say, Melissa. Life is messy at times. Tragedy comes off as authentic. Yes, in that way, I think. Yeah. And so I wanted to talk about last year. I mean, let's be honest, folks. There's an elephant in the room. Half of your friends are bugging out, and maybe, I mean, in my situation, it's half and half. But in most people, it's in New York City, most of my friends are on one side. You know, it's a very lopsided. Certain groups I know are very lopsided in, quote, politics and reality living. And so there's elephants in the room. People are either bugging out or don't care or are celebrating. I mean, it's very extreme. And it's ironic that we had a lot of horror films last year, and good ones too. And I wanted to go over the horror films of last year and my thoughts on some, and I'm going to end it with my thoughts on Nosferatu. I am going to give you my review right now. I saw it twice. That should tell you something. Anybody see it? We'll get to it. Longlegs. Didn't like it. I thought the hidden meanings were flat and surface level. I mean, really surface level. Meaning it looked deep, but as I looked deeper, I found nothing. Vapid. I thought I wanted to see it again, and then I saw scenes from it again and was like, not for me. The Substance. I loved it. I don't think it's worth 5 Academy Awards. Just like, what is that? Get Out was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. Please. Stupid. Give me a break. Garbage. What about Hereditary being nominated? Come on. All right, I knew you'd like it, Fallon. So I thought Substance was damn awesome. I did. I really liked it. Yeah, let's pause on the thing. I want to mention Dan reaching out. Oh, you didn't like Nosferatu, Mealy. I want to talk about it. We'll get to it. I liked it. For a specific reason. Longlegs had potential. I agree. Yeah. Dan says, I don't talk politics. Hate it when people send silly memes about politics. Yeah. Politics and money bore me. Me too, brother. Me too. I'm fist bumping you. I don't like it. I like core values. And I know you do too, which is why we get along here and we can recommend books to each other. I like studying the essences of where it ends up. Politics is for dummies. It's for people that are the same types as the religious types that we don't get along with, which is funny. I know a lot of people who are very against organized religion, specifically the Judeo-Christian stuff, and they are the most religious in their fervor and followings of politics. Here we go. Okay. Oh, he saw it 5 times. Okay. I, I didn't see Wolfman yet. Okay, hold on. This is good. We opened a can of worms here. Oh, Michael, the long legs had the most cringy lines of any movie I'd seen in a while. They were so bad that when I saw it, I forget which one of my kids was with me. I think my son. We just kind of looked at each other like, "Oh my God, that's terrible, so cringy." Oh, thank you. Actually, if you listen to those lyrics, Ryan, in Ritual, I'm singing about staying in the Hotel Cecil. Look up the Hotel Cecil in LA. I'm telling a true story about me in the Hotel Cecil. Um, yeah, I'm not so into a follow-up sequel to Labyrinth. It just sounds stupid. I didn't even like the first one that much. I thought it was okay. Uh, all right, so then after Substance, I really did like Substance. I thought it was great. I thought it was yeah, it was great. The style, the story, the gore, the special effects, the acting, the babes. Yes, 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 and yes. I hope it does well. And I think Demi Moore kicked serious butt. Onyx the Fortuitous. His movie, loved it. A lot of people didn't think I'd like it. I liked it. I did not see the werewolf movie. Wait, hold on. Eggers is doing a werewolf movie? I'm getting confused here. There's a Wolfman movie out right now. I did not see it. Let's get to the real meat. Terrifier 3. To me, that's the winner. It's the king of all horror right now. I'll claim it to be the king of all horror permanently. It's broken all the independent film records. It broke the unrated film record. It cost $2 million and it made, what, $85 million? That character, Art the Clown, rose quickly to top dog, and he is top dog as far as I'm concerned. These movies have lots of heart in them. They have the greatest gore scenes I've seen my whole life. Subtle humor, and an element of trash that I just love. And so, cheers to Damien Leone and more Terrifier films, which I hear he's making. Slayer of the Bright Realm. I'm a fan. I do like him. And then let's get into movies that I watch every year, every other year, that I recently dug up, that I wanted to give some honorable mention. Well, Maniac, for instance, right here. Joe Spinell. There's some great documentaries on him online. You should look him up. Today is Joe Netherworld's birthday. Magister Joe Netherworld. He passed away a few years ago. He is, I think about him daily. I believe he got to party with this guy. I think somebody was telling me. I never heard the stories. Yeah, I heard. Oh. So Eggers is going to make a werewolf movie. In 13. Oh, okay. Party on. All right, I'm into that. The new Wolfman movie. Or Death Day. Yes, my brain is flipped. Yes, this is when he passed away. Yeah, I always post on his birthday. I keep making a mistake of which day is his birthday and which day he died. He did, that's right. He died in the winter. Oh, you know what? Fallon, I have in here. It's so funny. I was looking. Fallon, who's one of our party people in here, took an amazing photo of House of Netherworld after it caught on fire. And that is one of the most eerie, sad, disturbing photos. Oh, they went on the cyclone? Wow. Yeah, he was a party animal, this guy. I'm a big fan. This movie is really neat. It's kind of hard to believe. It's a must-see. It's a party movie. It's got some weird stuff in it, and it has Caroline Munro. And from what I gather, he was actually hanging out with her, if you know what I mean, which is hard to believe when you watch the movie. You got to see the movie. I also saw, I hadn't seen it in a while. My daughter, who is very versed in horror, had never seen the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It is absolutely holds up as one of the greatest horror films ever made. It's actually scary. Leatherface is terrifying. The whole movie, nonstop from beginning to end, blows my mind. Chainsaw Massacre, the original, Tobe Hooper. And then I recently revisited all the Phantasm movies, 1 to 5. And I like them all for different reasons. 2 is the biggest budget. 5 is the lowest. I just watched 5 the other day. I hadn't seen it in a while. I love it. If you're a fan spelled Phan, Phantasm 5. Really, it's got lots of heart. That's what these movies, this is what independent low-budget filmmaking has. It has heart. It doesn't have money, and it has creative, clever problem solving, and lots of heart, and a will to finish the movie and make it good, as best as you can. Oh, right, he's in Taxi Driver. I forgot. Oh, Kubrick loved it. I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, of course, that makes sense. Okay, here we go. Nosferatu. I was saving that for last. So, I'm a fan of Eggers. I really like The Witch a lot. So much that I'd seen it a few times at the movies. I really liked The Lighthouse. I thought I liked it, but it didn't make me want to see it again. I really liked... oh, there's some good Chainsaw Massacre stories in the chat. Melissa. I really liked the movie, The Lighthouse, but it didn't have anything in it that was like... It didn't have any hooks. It's like a song. Do you guys know what a hook is in a song? It's a nugget of something that makes you want to hear it again. Sometimes it's repeated. Sometimes it's only once. It happens in the song. It'll be a little sound effect or a thing. Sometimes it's a sequence, a beat, a vibe, and you want to hear it again. But whatever it is, it hooks you. It makes you want to come back to it and revisit it. And so I think there are natural hooks, and I think there are hooks that you can purposely lay in there to help. And so I thought The Witch had lots of hooks. The Northman, my problem, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it, was every time Nicole Kidman came on camera, it felt like watching a movie about the Puritans coming on Plymouth Rock, and somebody in its cast has tattoos and blue hair. And you can't get it out of your head that they're from modern times. Nicole Kidman's face lift is so contemporary looking and noticeable that it ruined the movie. I mean, every time she'd walk out, I'd be like, oh, the first time they showed her, it was in darkness, and then there was like a bright light scene, and it ripped me right out of the movie. I was shocked that he cast her. Did he cast her, or did the studios pressure him? I don't know. Who knows? I don't know how it worked. Yeah, I didn't hate The Lighthouse. I did enjoy it. It just didn't have any visual hooks or dialogue hooks to bring me back. Now, Nosferatu, I've been waiting for it. I went opening night, which was Christmas Day. I first went and got the popcorn, and lo and behold, the popcorn bin I thought was going to be cardboard ended up being metal and amazing. You can put a lot on this side, and look at it. It has rats in it. Folks, it actually had the rats. This is actually really big. This was worth 30. You know, if they're going to rape you on the price, make it cool. Well, this was $30 and it was worth every penny. And I think it's already worth 100. The Art the Clown bucket, which they promised, they didn't even get them in the movie theaters where I was. They didn't get them. It was kind of a hoax. So we got there, we get in the movie, and opening night, the sound blew. So we had bad sound the first time I saw it. I saw it again with good sound. I thought this, and I'm going to try to review it. I'm not going to spoil anything. I remember it as a black and white film, but it's not. I loved the look, the authenticity of the realism of the scenes, even though some of them were sets, some of them weren't. I felt very immersed. The camera work is stylized, and normally I don't like that. But this one didn't bother me. Normally over stylization throws me. This I liked. I loved, and you've seen the trailer, I'm assuming, so you've heard his voice. When they showed, and I'm going to call him Dracula. Hi, Lorcan. You should go back and watch the beginning. You'll like it. We're talking about Nosferatu. The thing I really liked is how they played Dracula straight. And I call him Dracula because that's what it is. Orlok. They made him a warlord. They didn't try to make it clever, like the Bram Stoker looking Dracula. He looks like what he would look like. I saw some of the reviews were mad that he had a, quote, hipster mustache. What? People have wear mustaches for a million years here. Come on, buddy. What are you talking about? That's what people looked like back then. They had big hairy mustaches. They were men. He also was very bossy, and his voice was, you will do as I say. I mean, I loved it. I was like, wow. Every time they showed him, he was just like, rah. And so I liked it. I thought the ending creeped me out. There was some creepy stuff. There was some goofy stuff. I liked that it was goofy. Some people thought it was dumb. Yeah, he looked like Vlad the Impaler. Exactly. That's why it was. He was that. They made him Vlad the Impaler. He's big and ugly and scary and mean and nasty. And I don't think people understand the plot. I think people that didn't like it are missing a couple little things. And one of them is that she seeked him out, from what I'm gathering in the story. You know? That's it's the movie's like about a Facebook friend. That's literally what the film's about. It's like having a secret Facebook lover. Yeah. Like full on. And on my second time seeing it, it really unlocked a whole layer of that, which to me, I never got out of the original Nosferatu, which I like, and the 70s one, which I also love. So I did like it. I thought the end was jazzed. I liked the end. There's a few clear problems. I mean, it's not perfect by any means. Yes, exactly, Lorcan. Just that alone made me go, ooh. This is what adds to the jazz. It's a little bit, it's very different. The castle, the gypsy scene, the scene, I know did they change the politics of that yet? Someone told me you're not allowed to say gypsy anymore. I've been to Romania where the actual Romani are. And so it is kind of like it was in the movie. I walked into a bar in Romania in the middle of nowhere, and it was right out of a movie, out of American Werewolf in London and Nosferatu, where the whole bar stops talking and kind of looks at you. I had that happen to me with my buddy from Germany, Dominic. I'm curious of why Mr. Mealy didn't like it. It's not for everybody. It's a be careful what you wish for love story. Yeah. It kind of is that, right? It's yeah, you never know what you're wanting, and then it shows up, and it's a monstrous thing. Yeah, well, gypsy, it's funny, people don't realize they called them gypsies because they thought they were from Egypt. But they're not. They're from India. The original Romani were nomads from India who kind of traveled over to Europe. Yeah. Totally fascinating culture. Lots of arts and all sorts of stuff. I love them. So I like the movie a lot. I will see it again. I will own it. I tell everybody, buy movies, buy DVDs and Blu-rays. They're gonna You think they're going to be online forever? Everything that's online that you have access to is slowly getting taken away. Boop, 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 and put into a paywall. They're going to charge you soon to watch your own Blu-rays. Oh, watch. Things you own, you don't own anymore. It's getting dirty. Only Vlads. Oh, I love this. I love it. She psychically swiped right on Only Vlads. Excellent joke, Fallon. Love it. Excellent. See, this is why I like this show. That's good. Only Vlads. She's like, oh, who's this guy? Who's this rotten gentleman? Literally rotting. When you see him up close, it's quite shocking. That was a terrible smoke ring. So anyway, I like tragedies. I have a lot to learn in them. Modern Grand Guignol. Anybody study the Grand Guignol? It was a popular form of theater, 1800s into the, I think the 20s or 30s is when it really died. Oh yes, buy Blu-rays. The Herzog one is good. And the original is mind-blowing. It really is terrifying. I do like the Herzog one, though. It's creepier. That's probably the creepiest. Grand Guignol. It's basically Friday the 13th, except in theatrical format. And it was from France. It was a theater. They ran shows. It was Chainsaw Massacre live, basically. Blood, guts. You got to see it live. Very visceral. Modern horror theater. Maybe it'll make a comeback. Page 3. Oh, I love it, Dan. You rule. You rule. I don't blame you. It makes you pay attention to what you have, too. When we were kids, we didn't have a lot of CDs and records. We had my stash and you had your stash. Then if we hung out, I got to listen to your stash and you got to listen to my stash. And you listen to your own stash over and over and over again. That's why I know my music. I have records. There are a few albums out there that I know every note, bass, drum, guitar, the vocals, the lyrics. I know every mishap, mistake. I can hear everything. Why? Because I listen to them over and over again. Kids have too many choices now. They don't focus. They have info overload, OCD. So, page 3 we already did too. Let's talk about these UFO dopes on TV. Anybody notice that when all those drones were going off and the news was drone, blah, 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 we were busy telling the rebels it was okay to attack Syria? Yeah, it was exactly the same time. Drones. Oh, what are they? Oh, I saw them. It was nonstop for like a week and a half. Every major show, every news organization. Look up the words timber sycamore. I probably just set off every... Look up timber sycamore on Google and read it. They just finished... Well, they didn't finish it, but they're in the process. Timber sycamore. Look it up. You won't believe it. Rate it to your family and friends. You're going to be like, what? Wow, I didn't know this. Yeah, look it up. Anywho, while timber sycamore was being implemented again, drones. Well, if you went to Twitter and you looked about drones, you could see the people that work in the drone business talking about it. And they told you what it was. So I knew what it was going on pretty early in. And a lot of people know I'm into UFOs. They were calling me and asking me. But, I mean, honestly, all of it were them flying drones. Occam's razor. They were just practicing trade routes and how they're going to operate them. Maybe they were looking for nukes, but they're also drones. You know, somebody said they were looking for some nuclear stuff. Maybe they were. I mean, who knows? They do that kind of stuff all the time. But they have drones doing it now. And what we don't see on our news, you can see on Twitter. Anybody that doesn't like Twitter can stick it up there, you know what? Because it's the only place where you can actually see things you can't see anywhere else. So yes, there might be some mean, hateful things on there, but you can dig through it and find the real stuff that you can't find on all the other stupid platforms. You can't do it. So, what can you find? Well, you can find war footage from the Ukraine war that looks like it's a scene right out of a Phantasm movie. When people are in the Phantasm movies, they're getting chased by these metal balls. And you're running and the thing's chasing you, and then it hits you and kills you. Well, that's going on every day in the war over there in Europe. That's what it's like. You can watch the videos. One of the most disturbing videos I ever saw, I might have mentioned it on my last show, is somebody edited all of the soldiers blowing their brains out on live footage because the drone just maimed them. And there's footage of them like maimed on the battlefield just killing themselves because there's nothing they can do. It's horrific. It's terrifying. Most people have never seen this. They don't put it on the news. Never. We don't put it on our news. Fox News or CNN. They don't show this stuff. None of them do. No. So, we have drones. We have lots of them. We have just the same kind of drones they're using in those wars. We have many shapes and sizes. The police use them now. Insurance companies are using them now. Amazon's getting ready to start using them. They're going to be everywhere. Meanwhile, we have cameras, red light cameras, stoplight cameras, speed cameras. We have sound cameras now. If you beep your horn, you get a ticket. And now we have congestion pricing. They said they weren't going to do it. They did it. There was an actual news conference from our governor that said she saved us money. I saved you $5. It was supposed to be $15. Last summer, she proposed the $15, they're going to go through with congestion pricing. And then to get her people votes, they said, we're going to stop that. Didn't work. So now they brought it back and they lowered it a little bit. But what they didn't tell you is in 2 years, it jumps to 15. Now, if you watch the news, they'll claim it worked. That's not true. That's not true. It's fake news. Fake news. I'll say it again. It's fake. If you live here, you'll see what happened. They just shifted it around a bit. They didn't stop the congestion, and they didn't stop the pollution. It's not what happened. They're making money. Fight it. If I knew kids that you could pay off to go blow these things up with spray paint and stuff, everybody should be kicking into that fund. It's not cool. It's Sheriff of Nottingham. It's terrible. And if it goes through here, it's going to go through your city too. My sis stepped in. Hi, sister. So anyway, I want to talk about some of these UFO guys. So it all starts with Bob Lazar, and I have whole shows about him. I used to think he was telling the truth. Then I realized it's not true. And then I realized it might be a little bit true, meaning this is the things he was presented with, meaning that the UFO phenomena that we see, that the government now is admitting, has nothing to do with outer space or aliens or anything. It is maybe unknown phenomena, and anytime that happens, if somebody says UFO, why would they deny it? It's better for them to play dumb and act like they don't know what's going on, or admit it and say, yeah, it's real. Imagine if it was demons, and people found out that the feds were studying a demon, and you think they're going to deny it? No, it's in their favor for that to be real. It works. It's a modern way. In the old days, they used to use demons. Now they don't. They use UFOs. It's mysterious and weird and scares people. Of course they want people to think they have powers. Ah, see? There you go. Yeah, Dan, you're right. They don't. It's all for them. It's for their raises. So, then after Bob Lazar saying that he worked on UFO, he said he was this guy working in the lab, and Then we get. We're gonna jump to David. Grush, FBI guy. He claims to be, he is a real FBI guy. He testified to Congress. Behind him were the people responsible for a lot of the UFO hoopla. The weatherman from Vegas and Jeremy Corbell. To me, yeah, it's not, I don't buy into what they're doing. David Grush says he heard the stories were true. He didn't see it, but he heard that a lot of the UFO stuff is outer space stuff. And he is an FBI whistleblower, is what they're calling him. Mind you, if you're testifying in front of Congress, you were approved. So he's not really a whistleblower. So fast forward, we have a new guy now, Jacob Barber. Go look this one up. This one's a little different, and this is why I wanted to bring it up tonight. Jacob Barber, ooh, I got to be careful here. I don't go too late, because at 10 o'clock I'm going to be online auctioning something. For the first time, I never did it. I hope it works. Please download Whatnot and come look at this. If you go on Whatnot and put Cardone, you'll see me pop up. So Jacob Barber claims was the helicopter pilot, and he was picking up these alien craft. And there's a video. No, it's not sunny in my living room, but I do get migraines. And that's, yeah. I don't get it, yeah. There must be a price to pay for the truth. No, I don't think so. No. Believe Roswell what? I mean, these are all government training crafts. We've been messing around with stuff for years. And it's not from outer space. It can look like it's from outer space. It can even have, quote, aliens on board. That doesn't mean it's from outer space. It means it could be us. We could be faking people out. It could be one thing and they say it's another. There's no evidence. I've seen nothing. Nothing. And when people have testimonies, well, that's what they were led to believe. It doesn't still mean it's true. It's not a fact. And so when I hear this new guy's story, so first he claims to pick up these eggs in a helicopter with a chain, and there's a video of it. You can watch the video. So it looks weird. But it's what he says happens after. He says he communed with the object, and it made him see and feel beautiful things. So much that in the interview he cried, and he said he's never been the same since. It's changed his life every waking moment of the day. I mean, he looks like he's telling the truth. It's a very fascinating story. It doesn't mean I believe it's UFOs. It could have been a nuclear reactor bit. And he also claimed he did get damaged from it. So they could have told him it was a UFO. Meanwhile, it was just a radioactive piece of something. And they do that to soldiers quite a bit. I don't know if you know that. When you join the Army, you sign papers that they can use you in experiments. They also give you 1 million shots. When guys get out of the military, I'm surprised. I'd love to see the medical stuff behind the ratios of when they go in the... People are bugging out about vaccines. You should see what they give the military. Holy. They load them up with all sorts of stuff. Revised engineered spaceships that were... Yeah, well, of course they tell people. I mean, if people think that we reversed engineered alien craft, okay? And we didn't. Let's say it's Nikola Tesla's anti-gravity stuff and some new stuff mixed in, and we have some new drones using new technology, right? And someone says, I saw an alien, and they put the stories together. You don't deny it. Why would you? You would lean right into it. You'd be like, I don't know. And then if the timing's right, you go, yeah, we do know a little bit. It's the ultimate. Yeah, they're definitely lab rats sometimes. So that's how I see this. I think it's opportunistic when need be, the UFO phenomena. They use it on TV when they need a story. And the news recently really has been on it. They love it. They used to not like it as much, but it got an air of legitimacy ever since the New York Times article in I forget what year it came out. 17, 18? 16. Um, yeah, I think the soldiers are actual. They're actually used for experiments, for new medicines and vaccines. Yeah, they bing bing bing. They give them so many. It's kind of weird. Yeah. Mm. So I just think it's funny now that the government's admitting UFOs are real. I don't believe them. It has too many red flags. I'll give you one before we move on. And I've done this before. I'll mention it again. You should know this. The lady that wrote the New York Times article, Heaven's Gate. Oh, interesting. I don't think there's any more to that story other than kookery. Yeah, that's all. So, the lady that wrote the article in the New York Times was asked why she didn't include that the government paid a group to do research on UFOs, but also in there were giant beavers and Bigfoots and dimensional creatures and all sorts of fun stuff. And she said, well, she wanted to give the article an air of legitimacy, meaning she didn't want people to naysay it, so she left out stuff. Huh? That's bad. It's not journalism. I mean, that's editing. That's an editor. I mean, that's an editorial. So that's just one little, that's the first story. That's what started it. So you could say that that's propaganda right there. Bing, 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 bing. The article that started the whole thing. Yeah, I'm not buying it. I have yet to see a video that has something in it that makes me go, whoa, that they presented as, yeah, this is something we don't know. I'm waiting for the government to go, here's a video, and then in the video, it does something that makes me go, wow, right? I have yet to see that. Every video they've produced, I've found someone that can debunk it on a very detailed level. And so I'm not buying it. Walter Cronkite still was reading the news. I don't think Walter Cronkite ever stopped and said, hey, I don't buy into this. This isn't accurate. I'll bet we could go back and find that he was just as much a tool as all the new people. It's just they weren't so obvious of what they gave him to read. That's what I think. Yeah. TMZ. Oh, please. You couldn't pay me to sit and watch something like that. This is why I don't watch TV. Stop watching television, folks. Stop. Just get rid of all the platforms you have. Use only the free ones, and once a year, get the pay ones and do the free trial. Don't pay them a dime. It's over. Yeah, it eats too much of your time. Our days are short. Don't waste it on TV. It's not worth it. Drones, commerce, AI. Yeah. So what people don't realize with AI is, and cameras, and like, the red light cameras and the speed cameras and facial recognition software, blah, 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 is we haven't added a quantum type of a computer to the system that I know of. Maybe they have it and we don't know about it. So, I mean, when that happens, imagine a drone that has lens-less viewing, meaning it can view things without a camera lens. I talked about it on my last episode. It's a new thing that's blowing my mind. It's a version that makes remote viewing possible. It makes remote viewing possible. Remember the telepathy machine in Flash Gordon? Yeah, okay. Imagine that being real. Imagine being able to close your eyes and see in somebody else's room in real time, as if there's a camera in the room. Well, that's on the way, folks. And you might think it's far away, but I don't think so. I think it's a lot quicker than you think. I mean, look at this gadget right here, the iPhone. The iPhone is crazier than anything on the Jetsons. You watch the Jetsons, and they got some fun stuff, but nothing like the iPhone. It beats it. We've beaten the Jetsons already. We're getting our flying cars. We always dreamed of the future of flying cars. They're coming. Just give it a second. Took them a little while, but they got it. I saw one on line the other day that's not that big. It's this little one-man car, and it's a drone. It's a little one-man drone put in your parking lot. They're now figuring out how that's going to be the next thing. People are going to start going to work in the sky. There's too much traffic. There's going to be Airbuses, you know? So, what does it all mean? I don't know. What are you going to do about it? I don't know. I mean, you can complain, and you can go to a parade, and you can throw rocks and cry, and you can claim the world's going to end. Sad that Chuck Berry left us before toilet drones. That's a good one. I heard he was a mean guy. Woo. Yeah, so I study it so that I can position myself. That's all. Anybody that feels threatened or scared or anything, well, okay, great. Now position yourself. That's it. If you got to move somewhere, you got to move somewhere. If you got to hide somewhere, you got to hide somewhere. If you got to be loud, then be loud. If you want to martyr yourself, go right ahead. You can martyr yourself. Just don't drag me into it. And I hope you're having fun. I hope. Because if you're not having fun and then you're going to martyr yourself, I hope that's your will to power you'd like to be remembered for. Because, you know, yeah. It says when AI, Fallon says, when AI becomes sentient as does that say GI? Will it get rights or be a form of slave at the beginning? That's a really good question. How will we deal with the rights of a robot? Well, if Amazon has robots walking down the street making deliveries, clearly we're not going to be able to beat them up. I guess you could if it's on your property and you asked it to leave. You would be allowed to do that. But how about insulting one? Like, you're ugly. Hey, you dumb robot. I mean, folks, I think it's going to be a problem. They're going to try to say it's bad, and you can't. If you can't insult someone to their face now about the silliest of things without getting called a really terrible name, I promise you they'll do it with their robot. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. People are going to be marrying robots. Yes. And they're going to want rights for that robot. I guarantee it. For sure. Yeah, we'll see about the flying drones and people sitting on them. Automation really has no boundary, says Mr. James Dunn. You are right, it doesn't. And notice they haven't tried to regulate AI. Why? Because it's an arms race. 100%. They're not going to regulate it until there's a top dog, and then he's going to shut down everybody. Which is why it's in our interest to really try to jump on it. We want whoever has it to be on our side. That's it, you know? Scan your room for entertainment purposes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, robots. Well, the thing I don't like about robots is they're not just going to be working and doing everything like all the anybody that's got a job that's easily replaceable is definitely going to get replaced by a robot. And people that have jobs that are not easily replaceable like a surgeon, they're definitely going to get replaced by a robot. I used to joke that magicians would get replaced, and someone's like, "Oh no, live entertainment." No. Yeah, true. You think that, but if people prefer the robot entertainer over the real entertainer, well then there it is, and it's already happening with music. People prefer fake drums and auto tuning. They do. It outsells the real stuff by a lot. And so there it is. It's already done. It doesn't have anything to do with what we think it should be. And when people do that, I can't hang out with people that think like that. It should be people that think things should be a certain way. Well, great, but things don't work like that. They go as they will, and the mightier is the right one at that moment. That's just the way it is. It doesn't mean it's your version of right. It's things go as they go. There's things implemented that go through, and you can scream and fight it. You might, because of the situation, cause some sort of positive change or not. It depends. There's a billion factors involved. I wanted to talk at the end here and tie this all together before I bounce, because I got to bounce soon. Always reduce things to their core. Always. If you're trying to solve a problem, just stop and go, well, what are we really talking about here? You know? Any issue, any political issue that someone brings up, instead of it being a political issue, figure out what the actual core to the argument is. And you'll see it becomes a real fascinating thing. For instance, like I always say, I don't ever feel comfortable debating politics, but I do like debating free speech. I love free speech debating, and I like debating guns a lot. And I do like debating those two things because I've done my research on a very, very, very detailed level, and I feel comfortable speaking about those things. So, for instance, on a gun issue, I try to reduce it to what actually is at stake, and that is, it's a body autonomy case. Being able to protect yourself and what that means. And if somebody has an advantage over you, what that means, and making things equal with a gadget or a lighter, whatever you have, whatever, what is the details of of the problem that you're having with said thing. Like, what's the actual core components here that we're talking about? Whenever you do that, the whole thing starts to shift. And when people don't like to reduce things, I always find it interesting. Because a lot of people don't like to do that. They get mad. They want to talk about it over here and not the things that made it such. They just want to talk about here. And it's like, well, you can talk about here, but there's a reason why it just didn't show up there overnight. There's things that made it go there. And that brings me, and this is something I'm going to end with, I really like the philosopher Seneca. And I learned from him, and I believe Marcus Aurelius, to that matter, the concept of people saying that the modern self-help movements will say, forget the past, can't do anything about that. The present, be in the moment, and, make your future. Worry about the future, not the past. Well, Seneca said the opposite. I was kind of blown away. It's like, well, the future's not here, so just not worry about that right now. And the present's not real. There's no such thing. The present's a moving, the present's entropy. It's moving. It's like it's a motion. The past is something you can think about. It's the place that you can go dig a bit. It's where the archaeology of the present is coming from. So if that's true, then go back and examine a bit. Because if you just go back a little bit into your past and examine, you'll be able to see the future. You'll see where the pieces are moving. Not just yours, other pieces moving. And so that past examination of you, your values, where they came from, where other things came from, is how you get to your future. It's how you help frame that future. And so, in this world of wacko politics and wildly swinging opinions on all sorts of issues, and people drawing very, very, very hard lines in the sand. I mean, I have seen in the last week, or last few weeks, the most hard line in the sand kind of things on social media from people. And I don't know if they've thought through everything when they posted whatever they posted. It clearly looked emotional, and there's things moving behind it. It's not just out of nowhere. And so I always thought when you draw a hard line in the sand publicly, you are setting yourself up for a real solid hit, because the feeling, the energy behind a drawing a line in the sand of a, I'm using body language here to emphasize I'm here, and I'm not moving now, and I'm As soon as you do that, the rigidity of that is now ready to take solid hits from other rigidities that might not have come if you didn't do that. There might have been a more ebb and a flow. And so I always thought when you do hard lines in the sand, the tactic of such is not a good one. It's a shallow one, a low one. It's like, no, it doesn't. It's not a smart version. I learned a lot from reading and especially Sun Tzu, The Art of War, and the Machiavelli book, the Prince. Those books show you there is a time and place for that, and it's usually not in these kind of situations. Emotionally reacting is what the news is promoting, and people don't notice it. They're like, I don't watch the news. I had a friend say, I don't watch the news. I just leave it on the background all day. Huh? What? Say that again? So it's the emotional byplay that creates the dopamines and the feeling, and this is the most important part, the feeling of increasement of power. When I noticed that was a key component to everything, the feeling of the increasement of your will. I don't care if you're a peacenik hippie or a warmongering warlord. It's all about the feeling of the increasement of whatever your thing is. That's what we all seek above all things, above survival. The feeling of increasement of something. Wow. Okay, I gotta go. Please check this thing out. I don't even know if I'm gonna have any people watching it. I've never done it before. I hope it goes well. It's called Whatnot. It's an app. It's something new. My friend Quest, who's lives above over here, he's that away. He, I believe, has been making a lot of money on this and having fun. And so I have a lot of things to sell, and I do sell them on eBay. I also want you to check out my Wacky Mart. There are some surprises on there. There are some updates. There are some interesting things on there. I think you should have a peek. Yeah. Oh, wait. I'm going to lose this. Time fun when you're having fly. I wrote that the other day. That was one of my tweets. Yeah. Folks, I had a good time tonight. Thank you very much. It's 2025. Let's make it count. No matter what, if you're sad, if you're upset, if you're having a party, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I just hope you're having fun. That's all I ask. Have some fun. Life's short. You get one time around. If you're not having fun and you want to martyr yourself, Well, if you're having fun, then go do that. If you're not, you might want to rethink it. You know? It's all about the framing, you know? Not much you can do about most situations. Framing it, you can. Shemham Forash, my friend. Yeah. Mr. James Dunn, Yvette, Mama, my family jumps in here. I love it. Everybody in here, I had a good time tonight. I'm going to take these off now and see if I can... Oh, damn, it's bright in here. Hi. I have to get ready for a weird version of some sort of auction. It's supposedly like eBay, but I don't know who's on there looking around. So, let's see. Some ham for us. Thank you, Charlemagne. Melissa, Paul, everybody in here. Yes, thank you. Love you, sis. Ryan, everybody in here. Thank you, Mike, everybody. Who else is in here? Fallon, everybody, thank you. If you're into donating, Party on Rock and Roll, there's the link. And if you go down below in the info, there's a link to my Wacky Mart and the donation stuff. Zalthon, I don't think we had any Zalthons tonight. Anybody get kicked out? No? No, we're good. Well, I'm out of here. I'm going to take us out. I was going to show... There was something I was going to show. And I can't remember what it is. What is Chocovid? Oh, yes. No, we're not watching that. Did I show Opulence? Not Cursed. Yeah, I'll show that. Let's do Opulence. Captain Balls. I am a fan of you watching this show. I love it. Thank you very much. I will see you maybe next week. I'm not sure yet. Next week, I might have a show. And I'm also working on a boardgasm for Dungeon Degenerates and a few other goodies. So come check it out. Party on!
King has come, he's captive.